Listen, it's absolutely crazy what football or any sport can do to you. What a crazy match between Braga and Red Star Belgrade. And before I get into that, the match in Bulgaria actually finished 0-0 with Ludogorets and Midtjylland. So with the draw in Portugal, Red Star finishes top of the group, Braga finishes second, and Midtjylland goes on to the Conference League. Oh my goodness, this was a crazy match. Just to kind of start at the beginning, in terms of the lineup, Dan Stankovic, they go with a back three of Pankov, Dragovic, and Derakovic. Uh, Again, for some reason, Gobilic was in the lineup. I don't get it. I don't know I just don't understand how many chances you could give to one player. That's just the only part that I don't get. Everything else was pretty much the same, apart from Srnic being in the midfield. Petrovic was slated to start. He was in the lineup when the lineups were put out about an hour and 20 before the match, and he got injured in the warm-ups. Go figure, right? The second big surprise actually was Živkovic starting up top. So I think what Stankovic wanted to do was to keep Braga's back line honest, so to say. So when you provide a little bit of speed, it kind of opens up some holes and shows you the weaknesses of Braga's team. Now, the match as a whole, and I thought especially in the first half, Braga's back line isn't that great. There was a lot of misplayed balls, a lot of short passes. There was a header that went out for a corner that really didn't need to go that way. So those are the holes that I think Dan Stankovic and his staff kind of saw in this Braga side, and he tried to use it to full potential with Živkovic's speed, and then Pavkov came on in the second half, but the goal was ridiculous. Like, it's a clear penalty. Gobilic going up for a header with his hand beside his head. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not only the red cards, it's the amount of goals that have come through his side or due to his errors. It was crazy. The back line was extraordinary today. Like, Dragovic played a 10 out of 10 match. Irakovic, absolutely outstanding. Panko, for a guy who a lot of fans really don't like for some reason, it seems like the bigger the match is, the better he plays. So it's tough for me to sit here and say, he's not a good player. When he performs, it feels like in every big match that Red Star plays in. And Degenek was thrown on, in the second half. But I thought that Petrovic was a real, like a wrench into Red Star's plans, because, now you got Srnic in the midfield again. Again, I don't mind the guy, but it's not his position. And it was really the only kind of option that he had, apart from Kristicic, which, now that I think about it, I think Kristicic would have made a little bit more sense in terms of like veteran leadership. But he's slow, and I think Srnic is a little bit faster, and he wanted to be a little bit faster in that segment of the game. And like I said, going back to the penalty, and it just Galeno slotted it to, I guess, Borjan's, let me get my right side, kind of through the middle of the net, which was very very dangerous to do, because if Borjan dove on that side, he would have stopped it. But I think he went a little bit early anyways. And again, Gobilic, how many chances do you get? And, it feels like it was only maybe 5-10 minutes, and Red Star gets a penalty. And again, just a stupid play from Braga's point of view. It's a free kick that's way out, from probably 30-35 yards out, and all the way to kind of the left side of the pitch. It's whipped in, and it looks like Musrati pushed Pankov into Diago Leto, I think his name was, and he just kind of elbowed him. And I think Pankov went off right after that. It looked like he really got him in the face. Could have probably even broken a bone. That's how hard the hit was. And Katai slotted it, into the net, not calmly as well. Very similar to what Galeno did, kind of to the middle of the net and to the goalkeeper's left. So very shaky penalties. But and then after that, it was all Braga. A lot of chances for Braga in the last 15 to 20 minutes. A lot of crossed balls. It looks like Red Star's backline was dead, completely on its heels, very tired. And there was one chance in the 87th minute where Ben was kind of sent in on goal, and he has lost any of the speed that he's ever had. Like, chances like that, you have to finish and just finish the entire match and just end it. 92nd, 93rd minute, Borjan made an excellent stop on, I can't remember who, Rafa Silva or something like that for Braga. Extraordinary stop to his right side, diving stop with his hand. Again, I think Braga had something like 6 or 7 corners in the last 2 or 3 minutes, which is crazy if you think about it. And I think they had 22 total in the match, which is nuts. But it was a very entertaining match, and I thought even in the first half when there, weren't any goals, it feels like both teams kind of took their chances at a counterattack. So, Braga hits Red Star on the counterattack, then, quick build-up play, and Red Star is going forward and getting their counterattack. But finishing first in this group was so important, because now you don't have to go into that preliminary round, playoff, whatever you want to call it, where you have to play, a third place team from the Champions League. You don't want to take any chances with that. I spoke either in my last video or the video before that, some of the teams there, I mean, the only teams that you might want to play is like Zenit and Sheriff. Everyone else is like, in the top 5 leagues in Europe, and it's just very risky finishing second when you have to go through the playoff. And I think Midtjylland is kind of punching themselves now, because they drew with the worst team twice, I believe. I think they drew in Denmark as well as in Bulgaria, which is a huge blow for them. And now they're off to the Conference League. And this is for Braga's coach, who said that they're going to finish top of the group. Well, I guess that didn't happen today. And good luck in the playoff. But just an all-around excellent performance from the team as a whole. We looked at this Red Star team when the season started, and we said there's enough good players in this lineup that you can make almost 2 lineups. And that's fine to look at it like that, but as the season goes on, players get injured, others fall out of contention, others are just in terrible form the entire time. Stankovic didn't really have his full slate of weapons to kind of count on. Like, we look at guys like Bakayoko, who hasn't played almost at all, Vukanovic played sparingly, Louis Diony is battling a headache for 3 months, Živkovic didn't play much, Falco, I spoke about him in the preview, he's been kind of out of the lineup with some nagging injuries, and Stankovic said he has to be tougher. Ultimately, this is a very important match, and if you have an injury that isn't going to force you to miss time, then you have to kind of grind your teeth and you have to go play, because every player is needed in a match of this caliber, this big. And I love when you're drawn into a group that's maybe not the toughest group, but all 4 teams are kind of even. And that's honestly what I thought this group was. Ludogorets, I know from before. I know Midtjylland is very good in the Danish league. Braga, apart from the top 3 in the Portuguese league, is also a very good side. They sell players for 20-25 million. So they're a very good side. And those are the groups that you kind of want to get. And I think that was the case last season as well. Although Slovan Liberec kind of went through a little bit of trouble, but it was like Hoffenheim and I off the top of my head, and Ghent. Very good teams, and this is ultimately a measuring stick. Like I always say, give us the hardest group, because it's honestly a measuring stick to see how good your team is and how well you perform. Like I said, Irakovic I thought was outstanding today. Dragovic, maybe his best game as a Red Star player, and that's saying something because he's had a ton of them. Katai pulled his weight as much as he could, even the same. Kanga, playing in there. It's very, I think it's very different when your defense or your midfield partner kind of bows out in the warm-ups, and now you have to kind of get acclimated to someone else, even though him and Sorin Cha played together. And Sonogo was out, which is another huge blow, because this team goes almost as he goes, as crazy as that is for a defensive midfielder, but that's exactly what it's like. So it's everyone worked as one unit. Now we can kind of go and relax a little bit. There's still, I think, 2 matches left in the domestic league, and then we're off for about, I think, a month and a half. We're back in February, so this is a very important, going through for Red Star. It gives, Serbia more coefficiency points, and this was just a great team performance. That's all you can say. It doesn't always have to be pretty, especially the last 15 minutes, but the most important part is that we're, off to the round of 16, and honestly we just wait for our opponents now, and yeah, I couldn't be more happier.